Thanks for the support as a channel member, Rob Pontin. We got another one of those weird transfer specials today where I'm recording this before I've played the Euros, but you've already seen the Euros, so hopefully we won them. We probably didn't win them. It's probably 2 days later and we got knocked out in the second round. And let me know down in the comments how I got on in the Euros. I'm interested to find out. Hello and welcome to Club 4, part 22 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our season review and transfer special. I think I've started the episode too soon though, because we haven't got the season review stuff up yet. Let's hit continue once or twice and hope we get the season review stuff up here. Otherwise, I'm going to have to redo the intro. I don't want to have to redo the intro. I've ticked off some short-term milestones because I'm an absolute hero. Of course, if you have missed the previous Spurs episode, we did just win the Europa League, but this should be the season review stuff, and there it is. I'm encouraged by our progress. I didn't actually look. When you didn't get those media questions, I'm just trained to just tick the second one from the top, and it's usually right. I don't even read them anymore. They may as well just take that out of the game. So, players inducted into the Tottenham overall best 11. Banfalvi has made it in alongside Van Houston, Milenkovic and Sessegnon at the back. I mean, that is a back four that I've played many times. In fact, that four with Pickford in goal. Ndombele's obviously not here anymore. Gibbs-White had a poor season. Son left before I arrived. Where did he go? He went to Brighton when he got old, and now he's playing for PSV. Dele Alli, of course, Jadon Sancho, for what he did the first time he was here, and Harry Kane, and then on the bench, some fella called Erling Haaland, who passed through Tottenham around about the time they won the Champions League before I arrived. In fact, just after I won the Champions League. Stayed at Salzburg until 2021, though. Didn't do that in real life, did he? But he's now banging the goals in for Paris Saint-Germain. But yeah, that is our all-time best 11. We don't need to look at where they are. We've just done that. And a lot of it happened before I arrived. But the important thing is our end-of-season awards. Luis Vargas wins Player of the Year. I did mention it in the last episode, but don't think I showed it in a video. But he did win PFA Young Player of the Year as well. We have a bit of a superstar on our hands in the shape of Luis Vargas, which is why we've built a tactic around him in the shape of the diamond, although, to be fair, he works in this one as well. The one he doesn't work in is the 4-2-3-1 that we were using previously. Gravenberch runner-up. I think if the season had gone on for another 3 months, Gravenberch would have pushed past and become Player of the Year because his form towards the end of the season was pretty special. It was basically as soon as we released him to play as that attacking Mazzala, he was a different player, and we probably should have been playing him in a more attacking role all along. And then Banfalvi, third, who does officially still want to leave, I think. If we just look at the dynamics page, I don't know if winning the Europa League... No, he still wants to go to a club with a stronger squad. So just like last summer, there's the fear that we might be losing Banfalvi this summer. Rott got goal of the season, so let's have a little look at the goal of the season that he scored against Brighton. I didn't look at when this was, so I'm trying to gauge where in the season it was from the team that we played. But I think this is relatively early on in the season. Sessegnon to Vargas to Dele Alli. Here's Rott, first time on his left foot. It's a very good goal. Vargas got signing of the season. When you've spent £89 million on a player and they still win signing of the season, that's when you know you've got a superstar on your hands, because he was expensive, but my word, has he been a good signing. And he also, of course, won our Young Player of the Year as well. Our team of the season is Pickford in goal, a back four of Sessegnon, Van Houston, Banfalvi and Kawamata, Vargas, Victor and Gravenberch as the midfield. Victor getting in ahead of Rott is a bit of a surprise. Ali getting in ahead of Sancho, not a surprise. Virginia on the other side, and then George up front. And then top goal scorer is shared jointly between Dele Alli and Kao George. I cannot believe the season Dele Alli has had after, 3 years of being a nothing player, really. He's not quite back to that. I think the year Spurs won the Champions League in game was this one. So all he's really done is got back to almost as good as he was back then. But it's certainly a late career resurgence from Dele Alli. George with 20 goals as well. Gravenberch, highest average rating, seems about right. Virginia, 11 assists, seems about right. Francisco, best pass completion, never a good sign when it's your goalkeeper who wins that. Most man of the match awards goes to Gravenberch as well. Most yellow cards and most red cards. King of the Naughty Boys Club is Laszlo Banfalvi. Season review. Obviously, we're supposed to qualify for the Champions League through the Premier League, but we did qualify through winning the Europa League, so we've kind of backdoored it. It is still considered a disappointing campaign due to a poor spell back in January. Did we have a poor spell back in January? Let's have a look at January. I mean, I don't think that run of 3 games is to blame for how the season went, although to be fair, it was so close in the end. 6 points behind Chelsea and a draw against Sheffield United, West Ham, and a defeat against Palace. If we'd have won those 3 games like we were supposed to, we would have finished 4th. So I guess you can blame it on that, but it shows just how important it is to try and keep that form going all year. To give that some context, that was when all of our South American wonder kids were off at the Olympics qualifiers. So the teams we were having to play in games like this were teams... Oh no, Virginia is there and George is there. Well, that's ruined my context. No, I thought that was what had happened. Clearly, I'm a liar and an idiot, and I can't... Where's the back button? I'm not clicking the right button. It's ruined me. We don't need to know about the 2019 team. Right, club vision and expectations. We might actually have to meet some of these this year. So, they want attacking possession-based football. I can give that. Signing English players is a challenge because there aren't very many that are any good. Develop players using the club's youth system. Ryan Lawson was on the bench for the Europa League final as a channel member. So, you know, that proves we are doing a little bit of that. We've not signed anyone over the age of 30. We do play entertaining football. And we do, although we're not signing English players, we are signing under 23s pretty much exclusively. They want me to work within wage budget, which isn't a problem. Increase commercial revenue, which now we're going back into the Champions League, shouldn't be a problem. The 4-year contracts thing, for some reason they weren't judging me on last year, but they've asked for again. And they want to maintain the best youth system in the country. We have got, where does the board live now? I don't know my way around this game. It's a bit of a problem. Where are the board? Why is the board missing? Somewhere there's the board. Am I just being thick? Where is the board improvements button gone? Facility. There used to be a button for this, didn't there? I feel like I've lost my mind. I mean, I've obviously done it a million times without having to even think about it. Can we? Where is it? If I could show you it. Oh, there it is. It's on the Club Vision page. We are in the process of improving our youth facilities, so that is very much a work in progress to do that. Press so many buttons. I want to get back to here. There we go. They are looking for us to once again qualify for the Champions League through the league, which is a bit of a challenge, and in the Champions League a minimum of reaching the semi-finals. My contract's up at the end of the season. Their expectations are ridiculously high. They want a semi-final of the Champions League this year, our first year back in for 2 years, winning the Premier League next year, and just continue to win the Premier League. So no pressure or anything, but they want us to make up that 20-point gap at the top of the Premier League in 2 years and then go on to dominate the Premier League. Which is, I mean, that's not going to be easy, is it? Dynamics-wise, our team leaders are Ali, Sessegnon and Pickford, which seems about right to me. End of season team meeting. I guess we have to be qualifying for the Champions League. So passionately qualify for the Champions League. They're happy with that. We'll keep the passion flowing. And then injury summary, I'm not that bothered by end of season break stuff. David Kidd probably is going to be leaving, because I think I'm going to bring in Dave Azzopardi just for a little bit of fellow YouTuber love, and also the fact that David Kidd doesn't want to play for us anymore. He's 24, he's not getting any game time, and Dave Azzopardi, who I just like the idea of being able to yell at him. Just yell at. If you haven't watched Dave's videos, you should check him out. But Yeah, I'm going to bring him in as the replacement to challenge Sessegnon for that backup spot, just because I think it would amuse me. So Kidd can probably leave. And Gravenberch has won the UEFA Europa League Player of the Year. Well, what a career highlight, and that is the Europa League squad of the season. We've got 6 players in it. So Banfalvi and Van Houston, Ali in there as well, Gravenberch, Virginia, and George. We did quite well in the Europa League this year, didn't we? I can live with that. Right, let's make a plan for what we want to do transfer wise. We've got £40 million to spend and a little bit of spare wage budget. We are going to be focusing in on the diamond, I think, for this season. This is the system that I want to be playing. So let's get that training over the summer. Let's get players out of that team. So when we play the friendlies, they all get their match fitness. And if we go back to the team report and go to squad depth, I'm happy with what we've got as strikers. I mean, I'm pretty much happy with this as a squad. People will laugh and say, well, how can you be happy, Kev, you finished 5th? But I think we are moving in the right direction, and all of our best players are young. Banfalvi is 23. He's only going to get better. Gravenberch, a little bit older, but still only 26. Only going to get better. Rott is 22. And we can do this all the way through the team. Vargas is 22. If we have a look up front, George is 26. And then the 2 that we brought in more recently, 21. I think Rosso's 21 as well. And Jair's 20, I think. We've got a lot of very young, very good players. So aside from the Azzopardi for Kidd swap and potentially having to replace Banfalvi if he forces his way out, I think the plan is sell Jadon Sancho, get as much money as we can for him, and then reinvest that money in more wonder kids, ideally English ones, just to keep the board happy, but really go with this as our squad and hope that by being a year older, they get that little bit better. Is it a stupid plan? I think at some point we've got to reap what we've spent 2 years sowing, and I think now is that point. We live or die based on the transfers we've done to this point, which of course means I'm going to spend about £600 million this summer because we've all been here before, and we know I never follow the plan that I set out with. Well, that first little piece of business has been confirmed. There's Dave Azzopardi arriving. We only get a C+. I guess it's the fan reaction is a C+. I mean, in reality, we've just swapped 2 young English left backs for each other. David Kidd's gone to Chelsea. Apparently he was a regular starter with us, and that's why they're unhappy that he left. He started 1 game last year, 9 games the year before. I guess he started a few more games earlier in his Spurs career, and I guess he is a homegrown player, but he didn't want to be here. He wanted to leave. They gave us £62 million for him, and we were able to spend £58 million on a left back who's a year younger with a little bit more potential. And also the possibility for me to just constantly tell the real life Dave Azzopardi on Twitter that I'm his boss, which, as you can see, I now am. So he's in. That little piece of business does mean that we now end up with more money than we had to begin with. So I think that's a useful piece of business to start things off with. There is one other good young English player that I'd like to get my hands on, Nick Carter. Yes, he's a central midfielder, which we don't really need, but he's 23 years old and English, and he would just come and fit into that midfield competition area nicely. So we'll try and get him. We did try and sell Jadon Sancho, but he got a grump on because he felt he was being forced out of the club. Unhappy to have been touted to other clubs for transfer. So he's not on the transfer list, but he has got a grumpy on. He is in my England squad for the Euros, so hopefully he has a good Euros, and that either ramps up his price or turns him into a good player again. You'll already know if he had a good Euros or not, but hopefully he did, and all is right in the world. John Guy is the other decent young English striker, young English player, but as a striker, he just wouldn't get anywhere near our team. So there just seems to be little point in bringing him in. He may as well just stay at Chelsea and probably become a world superstar playing for them. We'll see if is he in my England squad. I mean, I've picked it now. I'm pretty sure my 2 strikers were Kane and Crown. Let's just see. Have we got this guy called Guy in? We haven't. It's Kane and Crown as our 2 strikers, as it has been for pretty much every England squad I've ever picked. We have made another signing. Mattia Vermonti joins from Milan for £96 million. 24-year-old defensive midfield player. It seems mad that I've just spent £96 million on someone who's effectively going to come in as a backup for Vargas, but not really a backup. We didn't have another top quality defensive midfielder. And if we're going with this diamond, we need two. And plus Vargas is just as good playing in central midfield as he is in defensive midfield. So it's not that Vermonti's coming in as a backup. It's another option, because if we have a look at that team report, that's the England team report. Hold on. Let's try looking at the Spurs team report. So team report, you'll see that we've got Vargas and Vermonti both very good there, but then Vargas is very competitive further forward. Gravenberch and Rott are the two best attacking midfielders we've got now. So one of them, I imagine Gravenberch is going to step forward and take on that role. It does really emphasise the fact that we've got a lot of deadwood we need to get rid of, but no one wants them. Greenwood's on 350 grand a week. No one wants him. The likes of Maddison, Gibbs-White, they're fourth and fifth choice in the only position they can play in this new system. Sancho as well. There's lots of players we could move on to try and generate a little bit more money. And if we're going to do any more business this summer, that's exactly what we need to do. But I don't want to transfer list them, because I don't want to settle for not getting very much money for them, which always seems to be the way when I transfer list them. So I'm just hoping for offers for any of those sort of fringe players. I can't imagine anyone looking to take Mason Greenwood, but if we sort this by appearances last season, we've got Gibbs-White played 3 times, Greenwood played 5 times, Maddison 9 times. I'd happily let all 3 of those go, but I want good money for them. Best news of the summer so far, Banfalvi, after us qualifying for the Champions League, is now happy to stay, so we don't have to lose him. I think we'll celebrate by offering him a new contract, because he's awesome and he can just have all the money that he wants. Yeah, you can have all of that. Just take all of the money, because you're the best player at the club, one of the best players in the world, and you can just have all of the money. Well, third shirt of the video. Yes, this has taken 3 days to do now. I've recovered from what happened with England. If you haven't watched that, I wouldn't bother, to be honest. It didn't go very well, but we've made it through to the 30th of June, and we've got a little bit of a contract situation. As you can see, these are all the contracts that are due next summer, but Van Houston has absolutely no interest in signing a new contract. And there's no explanation why. He just has no interest. Let's click on him and try and find out more. We did just turn down an offer from Paris Saint-Germain for £50 million for him, but he's considering his options. I mean, that does change things a little bit. His value is 65 million. Why is he on the transfer list? Did I transfer list him? Is he requesting a transfer up here somewhere and I've missed it? I don't know why he's on the transfer list. I'm fairly sure I haven't transfer listed him. How odd. Well, let's take him off. Does it say how long he's been on the transfer list for? Transfer listed since October. So he spent all last season on the transfer list. I don't remember doing that. Why would I do that? That must have been one of those where I said something in an interview and it was interpreted as putting him on the transfer list and I just never noticed. So we need to either get him to cut him down and sign a new contract. Maybe now he's not on the transfer list, he will. There we go. Otherwise, we were going to have to sell him. But now that's sorted, the issue has gone away. So I'm just going to renew a few of these contracts, and then we'll have a look at how our squad looks on the 1st of July. We've got no money at the moment. We need to sell someone, but luckily that someone doesn't have to be Van Houston anymore. New contracts offered and players put on the transfer list as we try and get rid of some of these players that I've had enough with. Jordan Pickford on the transfer list. Francisco's my man. We've got 2 young England international goalkeepers in our under-23s. I don't think we need Jordan Pickford around anymore. Let's just have a look at the goalkeeping situation that we've got here. So we've obviously got Francisco, who took over as first choice keeper towards the end of the season. We've then got Andy Dickinson, who was in my World Cup squad. And even better than him, we've got David King, who's got more potential than him. So I think between the two of them, they can sit on the bench. Francisco can be the number one and Pickford can go. He's under offer from Barcelona and Wolves. Barcelona, presumably just to stick him on their bench. I don't know why they'd want to sign our reject goalkeeper. Even though, to be fair, as I've said before, 125 caps for England. He is a very good goalkeeper. But he brings back too many bad memories of England. Haidara is still around at the club, unbelievably. He was out on loan at both Monaco and Brighton last year. We have had a number of offers for him. We've only accepted one of them because one of them was for £49 million and the rest were nowhere near. Let me click it. There we go. My suspicion is Swansea won't be able to meet his salary demands, so we'll probably end up accepting less than 49 million from somewhere else. But all the other offers we got, in fact, we should still be able to see them if we go on here, were much smaller offers. So I want to give Swansea the opportunity to try and pay him the money he wants. And if they can't, then we'll accept something in the £25 million region for him. James Maddison, also on the transfer list. I've wasted him long enough. He's 31 now. He's in the final year of his contract. And Liverpool have offered £42.5 million for him. So presumably he's going to be going there. And we've got another striker that I want to bring in, Wesley Fernando, who is a bit of a step up from everybody that we've got at the moment, a proper elite level striker who's been banging the goals in for Napoli for years in Serie A. We're trying to raise money to sign him because I think if we get him in, we still need to get rid of Greenwood. He is on the transfer list, but obviously with his salary demands, nobody is going to... I mean, we might send him out on loan, but we're going to be paying most of his wages. I think we're stuck with Greenwood for the length of his contract, which is another 3 years yet. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. Orlando is back, though, but if we sign this new guy, we'll probably move him on. Rosso is training to play... He's still training to play out on the wing at the moment. We actually might need to get him training for central midfield or attacking midfield. He's a good player. He's already played for Argentina. He's only 20, but we need to... except he's not going to be a striker, and he's nowhere near the team as a striker either. But midfield-wise, we're sorted. Defence-wise, I think we're sorted. Francisco, I'm happy with as a goalkeeper. If a real world-class goalkeeper becomes available, we'll keep an eye out for him. But I think move out this Deadwood, bring in this new striker, keep an eye out for a goalkeeper, and we're done. Still no one's making an offer for Sancho, though. I don't want to put him on the transfer list. But it's getting to the point where I might have to, just to get some interest in him. Where is he? He is wanted. Who's he wanted by? See, I'm not loaning him to Chelsea, Liverpool or Man United. They're living in a fantasy world. Give me the money for him. The first one is gone. Jordan Pickford has joined Barcelona for £22 million. And apparently gone there as their first choice goalkeeper. Tell me I've not made a mistake here. Tell me I've not made a mistake. So their captain's still Ter Stegen, who's also their first choice goalkeeper. Well, he's gone. Ryan Sessegnon's all upset about it, so Fotheringham needs to fix him. Go on, fix him. Didn't fix him. Right. What's up with you, Ryan? Nothing. You're happy now. Excellent stuff. How much money has that put back into the kitty? Probably not a huge amount. Not enough to go and buy the new striker I'm after. The other player, of course, who, if you were watching the England matches, you'll know I've got an eye on, is Nick Carter. But as you can see, Nick Carter, £97 million, or was between 68 and 97. But usually, if you do it mostly on the Never Never, it usually ends towards the high end. If you do it all in one go, it's towards the low end. So we might be able to bring him in. The only problem with bringing him in, and he is fully scouted now, but the only problem is he's no better than what we've got. But I guess he's as good as what we've got, which is pretty impressive in his own right. And he was, I guess, the one bright point of the Euros, averaging a 7.8 in his first 3 caps for England. Only 23, meets one of the club criteria. We probably do need to bring him in, don't we? But should we make an offer? Should we see what we can do? See, this is the offer that I made earlier in the summer. Do the board want to just buy me him? Nope. Didn't think you would. Are you going to accept that? No. Okay. They accepted that earlier in the summer. We need to re-scout him. I guess now he's played for England, his value's gone up massively. So let's re-scout him and get a better idea of what his value is. I might have priced myself out of buying Nick Carter, by playing him at the Euros, which would be very troubling if that's what I've done. Well, we've re-scouted Carter, and it seems he's signed a new contract and now has a £113 million release clause. And the only way, that's the cheapest way we're going to get him, spending £113 million on him. I wonder if Everton would be interested in Jadon Sancho. Because he's worth about that. I don't know that he'd go. Wow. I don't think we're getting Nick Carter. James Maddison has gone to Liverpool for £42.5 million. Tottenham make quite a big loss on him in the end. But you know what? 2 of those years were with me as manager, and I was never interested in using him. So he can go and try and resurrect his career at 31 years old, playing for them. A little bit more transfer news. Mason Greenwood, where is he? There's 2 Greenwood deals in the offing and it's confusing. Mason Greenwood, FC Dallas offered to pay 40% of his wages, which is like £150,000 a week, to take him on loan, and he refused to go because the scumbag just wants to sit on our bench, earning, or not even on our bench, just earn his money. But there is another Greenwood who we're now suddenly interested in. Brendan Greenwood is a 15-year-old goalkeeper at Brighton, who's English with loads of potential. So I'm re-scouting him, or I was supposed to be re-scouting him, because I want to get 100%. I want to check that that is up here and not down here. But we're now interested in him. So we could have 2 Greenwoods at the club. And Maddison's getting money there. My youth development guy, I need to make sure this contract, this deal doesn't go through without me giving the say-so, because it's a big deal. Like a £5 million transfer for a 15-year-old. I hope that doesn't just happen, unless it's brilliant. There you go, we've got a new fitness coach in. Always new coaches arriving. New fitness coach. I think that should finish us off and make us just about the best at everything. The one thing we can't do is defend, but we're nearly there for fitness coaches now. So you can see we've had a complete overhaul of staff over the last year or so as well. But we're just waiting for players to leave. Haidara's still here. If we just look at the players leaving, it's gone on so long, that striker, that deal's fallen through. And we're still getting offers for Van Houston. But we need Haidara to go. We ideally need Greenwood to go. But if Greenwood's not going to go, Orlando's going to need to go out on loans. We don't need both of them. And I'd rather get rid of Greenwood, but there's offers for Orlando and no one wants Greenwood. So Greenwood might just have to sit around as our 4th choice striker. You never know, he might come good. But we still don't have enough money to get either of our targets, either Carter or that Brazilian striker whose name escapes me. It's becoming a frustrating summer. Well, I didn't expect this one to go through. Haidara has gone to Swansea for £49 million. So that's splendid. We've now got a £72 million kitty. Does that get us... I shouldn't even be thinking this. We still can't pay the £113 million release clause for Carter. We have players in the... Oh, there you go. Francisco, repaying the faith I've shown in him this summer, is the European Championship Dream Team goalkeeper. So that's a good sign. Who won the Euros? How do we see who won it? Portugal won. Oh, there you go. And he's not only that, he's a European Championship winner as well. I've made the right decision there, no matter what Barcelona might think. Fine, we'll train Sessegnon to be a left winger. I can live with that. Right. Money. Have we got anyone else who's currently looking at leaving? Not really. We need to sell Jadon Sancho, but he's now injured, so definitely no one's going to buy him. Or Greenwood. Either of these. Just give... I want rid of them both. Because then we can bring in both of our targets if we get rid of both of them. It is just fiddling with the squad, because that squad I think is good enough. But I think we can upgrade it even further. But only if we can get rid of the rest of the deadwood. Brendan Greenwood is in, £5 million. I mean, he's going to be good, isn't he? And he's young and he's English. And as I'm learning with Carter, £5 million when he's 15 is a lot easier to do than £113 million when he's 23. We have got the deal sorted. We just don't have the money to do it. We need to sell someone. Please, will somebody... Ooh, hang about. Let's sell all these. I mean, it's not going to make anywhere near enough difference, but still, let's just drag in all the money we can. Sell everything. Troy Parrott. Oh, £2 million from Parrott. We need somebody to... What we could probably do is sell one of the other midfielders. We keep getting offers like this for all of them. But we need someone to come and take... I mean, do we even need to keep Catamol around? Because he's so far down the pecking order. Should we be loading him out? Or should we be selling him? He's still only 21. But he's only got 3-star potential. So should we be cashing in on Catamol and using the money? I think we should. We cash in on Catamol. Let's look at the rest of the midfield. Who else can we get rid of here? So we've got Gravenberch and Rott are our two main for here, plus but then we've got Dele Alli and Gibbs White. We've already tried to sell Gibbs White this summer and no one wanted him. But if we say 3 of those 4 are for that position, so we've got 1 for this position. So 1 of those, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got so many central midfielders. We've just signed Vermonti as well as the holding midfielder. We can definitely I think we can let Gibbs White go as well at 28. Let's see if anyone wants him. Problem is he's English. And we've got a complete role situation going on here at Spurs now where we do need to be a little bit careful that we don't end up not having enough English players in the squad. It was almost an entirely English squad when I first arrived, and we're now very dangerously hovering towards not having enough English players. Chelsea are just hoovering up all of the English players every time an English player becomes available, apart from Mason Greenwood. Chelsea are interested. See, £28 million now, for only getting 60% of it, it's not enough anyway. There's no point in selling him for that. Mason Greenwood is now gone as well. He's only on loan. They're not paying much of his wages, but at least it gets him out of the way. It does mean I've officially given up on Carter. We're not going to get enough money together to get him, so I've now gone back in for Wesley Fernando, the Brazilian striker who we were looking at early in the summer. 20 goals from 33 appearances for Brazil seems like a decent option to have, and plus has the advantage of being accomplished in all 3 of these positions as well. So it gives us a little bit of flexibility around tactics. We don't want to just be completely committed to the diamond because we want to be able to switch it up like we did in the Europa League final, which is why we're keeping Virginia around. I'm going to say that's why I'm deliberately keeping Jadon Sancho around. Ooh! Juventus are actually interested in paying for him. That would be amazing. There might be more business yet. Wesley Fernando is in, and the fans are idiots. He looks to be a great replacement for Mason Greenwood. If all he is a replacement for Mason Greenwood, then goodness me, have we got problems. I clicked on the wrong man. This is the man we're looking at, Wesley Fernando. We know all about him. We've looked at him all summer. £88 million. We've done a lot of this on the Never Never as well, so we do have a little bit left in the kitty for if we do get a big offer from Juventus for Sancho. There's still the possibility of a deadline day move for Nick Carter, but the deadline is 2 days away. So lots of things have to move very quickly for that to happen. So let's just give Fernando his squad number. Let's get him registered into the squad as well. How are we doing? We've got 8 English players left, so we need to be very careful now that as we move them out, we are replacing them, which we've done with Dave Azzopardi. We've done with the good Greenwood, the goalkeeper. Oh, no. 42.5 million? You bunch of jokers. We paid 100 and something million for him. Opportunistic scumbags, not a chance. But there you go, we get some shirt sales as well. Cristiano Ronaldo, by the way, is now a Brazilian left-back who plays for Barcelona. I don't know. Kieran Hodgkinson, one of our channel members, looks like he's going out on loan for the season. A couple of options for him. Ryan Lawson, the other current channel member in the Spurs squad, he's actually moved up into the first team squad for this season. He was on the bench for the Europa League final. We might see a little bit more of him this year. But it looks like, unless we get a proper offer in for Sancho, that business is probably done. And that brings us to the end of the transfer window. Nothing more did happen in the end. So just a quick summary, mainly for me, because it's been going on so long now. I'm finishing this off Wednesday. It's Thursday lunchtime. I'm pretty sure I started this on Monday. It might have been Tuesday. So David Kidd went to Chelsea. I forgot all about that. David Kidd for 62 million to Chelsea was replaced by Dave Azzopardi, 58 million pounds from Everton, left back for left back. We sold Pickford for 22 million so that we could have Francisco as our first choice and our young English keepers competing for the bench, including new young English keeper Brendan Greenwood, who's come in from Brighton. Not Marcus Maddison. He's just left Posh in real life. James Maddison has gone to Liverpool, £42.5 million. We've taken an attacking midfielder and replaced him with a defensive midfielder, Mattia Vamonti from Milan, £96 million, to offer some competition for Vargas and allow Vargas to play a little bit further forward on occasion as well. We also sold Haidara, who'd been out on loan for the whole of the previous season, £49 million for him. And then a couple of youngsters and whatnot disappeared, including this guy, Martin Porter, who is a young striker who was never going to get in our team. And we got offered a big pile of cash for him from Huddersfield. So he's gone there, which is lovely stuff. Wesley Fernando, the other big signing for £80+ million, means the squad to go into this new season looks like this. We've got proper strength in depth in all positions, including Sancho and Virginia if we want to play with wide players as well. And also most of the strikers and a couple of the attacking midfielders and things can go out in the wide areas too. So we have got the opportunity and the flexibility to switch things around as needed. But I think that is a very solid looking squad. And I am excited for the season to come, which you will see tomorrow, including the Super Cup against Barcelona. So we get to see Cristiano Ronaldo in action for them. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.